have any advice for producers on what they should do with the money when they get it?
Invest it, man. Reinvest it back into your craft and pay your debts. Pay the first thing you should do is pay your debts. And I'll keep it simple. Pay your credit cards off, right? Start with that. Start with paying your credit cards off, and then open up a business checking account. Okay. Business savings account. Those are the big three. Open up a business checking, open up a business savings, and pay your debts, pay your credit card debt. And so I'll go through it quickly. So the credit card debt is important because let's say you get paid $500,000 and you throw it into your savings. And let's say the APR on your savings is like 1%. So like every year it'll deposit 1%, you'll gain 1% off of the savings account. But then you have like a credit card that's got $10,000 on it at like a 9% APR. You're still losing money.
Yeah.
Right? So you're not in any position to make any type of SEP IRA investment or any type of investment at all. Like you're in the fucking hole.
Yeah.
So the first thing you need to do is get out of the hole. Pay your credit card debt with all the high APR. And the smartest thing to do, if you have a credit card that's like $2,000 max, let's say, you can use it, right? But the best thing you can do is use the credit card, but bring it back to zero balance every month. So, throw $200 on there or whatever, $500, and like be mindful of your cash flow. Use the credit card and just make sure you can pay that in 30 days. If you keep your balance, if you use the card and bring it back to zero balance every month, your credit's going to go up big time. So that's step number one. Step two, open up a business checking and a business savings account. And in order to do that, you want to register for an entity. I would personally recommend an LLC. So figure out, depending on what state you're from, go to google.com and say, how do I start an LLC?
Like $200 on LegalZoom.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can go to LegalZoom or you can try to do it yourself. Go to LegalZoom, register for an LLC. When you register for an LLC, they're going to provide you with a tax ID number. So the tax ID number is basically like a social security number. So if you have a day job, your job pays you personal checks, right, with your under your social, and that's how you pay your taxes, with your social security number. So the tax ID is basically like another entity, and anytime you get paid, you get paid under the tax ID number. So when you walk into like a Bank of America and you say, I want to open up a business checking account, what do I need? They're going to tell you, you need a tax ID number. Right. We need to see your LLC papers, right? And you need at least $5,000 cash. Minimum balance.
Most time you don't even need that.
Most times you don't.
Go to Chase. I think you can put $1.
Maybe it's like a zero balance, right? Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So as long as you have that, you're good to go. So that's step number two. Open up the LLC, get your tax ID number, and then walk into a bank. Find out what bank works for you. Open up a business checking, business savings, and then from there you'll be on the way to at least having a cleaner, financial situation. Yeah,
that might be the realest game we ever got on this podcast.
Amazing,
bro. The realest game. Yes, bro.
Amazing.
Like,
oh, and let me add one more thing while we're at it: taxes. So,
pay your taxes.
Any money. Let me put it this way, right? Take it from someone who made mistakes in the past. The most conservative way to look at it is every dollar that you make off of music, whether it's a drum kit or sample pack or you sold a beat or publishing checks, whatever, every dollar you make, you only get to keep 30% of it for yourself.
I thought you only have to pay out 30%.
I'll tell you why. So the conservative way to do it is to only keep 30% and assume 70% of it is gone. I'll tell you why right now. So let's say you sign a publishing deal for $1 million and you get a check for $500,000. Getting a check for $500,000 automatically puts you in a different tax bracket, right? So I'm pretty sure it's like 45% at this point, tax. So let's call it an even 50, right? Because we're conservative. When you look at money, you have to always be conservative. So, or overestimate. So let's say 50% of my money is gone by default. So I'm down to 250K, right? So I have a manager, I have an attorney, and I have an accountant, right? So my manager takes 20%, my accountant takes 5%, my lawyer takes 5%. So 30% of that 250 is gone. So what is that? I'm Asian, but I'm not good at math.
No, it's
What is that?
It's
Lyric, do you know?
20%.
I know you're not Asian, but you're
We're talking 30.
almost there.
30% of 50.
Yeah. Well, 30% of 250.
30%
Oh,
of 250 is
No, 10% is
maybe
25.
50,000.
So times
We got
three.
calculators.
Is it
for this kind of
50,000?
Yeah,
stuff.
do the calculator.
I'm saying 175.
175.
Times 0.3, 75.
75?
So minus 75 from 250.
B minus 75.
That's
is
one.
So you got
one
125 left?
175.
175?
So now you're down to 175,000
Out of a half a mil.
out of half a mil, right? So then there's this thing called quarterly taxes, where when you're a business owner, or if you're an entity and you're making that much money, or if you're making six figures, every 3 months you have to pay the government an estimated tax of what you owe them. So you have to calculate, okay, what did I make from January to March? Oh, I made 100 grand. So I owe the government X amount, 45% of that. So you have to literally cut them a check
Right.
every 3 months. Boom, boom, boom. And then if you over calculate it at the end of the month, they'll refund you. So it's dangerous. And you can't, if you're not paying quarterly taxes, you're going to get some shit in the mail.
Right.
Like, hey, we see you made this much money, but we don't have quarterly taxes
Yeah,
from
right.
you. So you owe us this right now.
Yeah.
And then you're like, shit, can I pay monthly? And they're like, no, we're going to take your money from your account
Right.
in 30 days. I don't know. I'm making that up, but
Nah, it's real though.
shit gets real out here. So
But that's
before
why
you
we,
buy anything crazy, man, just start simple, start small. You can splurge, you can enjoy your money. I'm not saying by any means like how to spend your money, but just be smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you are spending, make sure it's going to be something that's tax write off.
Yes.
Right,
And
right.
oh, you know what? Let me
Equipment.
add
Right,
one more
right.
thing. I know we're running out of time. I have to go to my event. But when you get to the point where you're free and clear and you have good cash flow and now you want to grow your money, I think a really good step number one, a simple thing, is to open up a SEP IRA account, right? And so a SEP IRA account is basically you put money in it and you're not allowed to touch it for a while. And it grows, we call it compound interest,
Mm.
right? And so with compound interest, basically it's like growing money out of thin air, which is wild, right? So let's say I put $100,000 in a SEP IRA at a 3% 3% growth rate, right? For the compound interest. So in 12 months, if I don't touch that 100 grand, in 12 months, the bank will deposit 3% of that 100 grand into my account, which again, calculate, what is that?
3,000.
3,000.
3%
So
of
now,
100.
so now I have $103,000, right?
Yeah.
So I have $103,000 in that account. I just made $3,000 of free money. So then on the second year, I get 3% again, but now I get 3% of 103, not 100.
Right.
So that's more than $3,000 increase. That's what's 3% of 103.
Hold on, let me see
A
if I
little
can
bit
do
more.
it.
A little bit
no,
more.
you're not doing
So
it.
you don't have to do it. So every year it goes a little more,
Right.
right? It looks like this, and then after 10 years,
Starts going
it's
crazy.
like a snowball.
Right. Now you might be getting 20 grand a year.
Yep.
Something like that.
It just doubles up every
And
time.
you can spend that every year.
Bro, crazy.
This might have been the most super sauce podcast we've had.
Good.
Hey, let's see. I
man.
know you got to go, man. Let's see if there's anything that we want to talk
Please.
about that we super missed.
I think this studio is pretty close. Can you look it up, Lyric? It's pretty close, I think. So we're good.
What time is that? 7 or 6:30?
That's 7.
Oh, okay.
So we have our producer town hall coming up this Friday.
Yeah, I saw that. Congrats, guys.
Thank you.
I really wish I could be there, but
Definitely, man.
be
Definitely.
great.
I mean, we're gonna be doing more of them, so we definitely gotta get
Amazing.
you involved, get you up on the panel, and
Mhm.
dropping these kind of gems. This is the kind of stuff that people need to hear. You know what I mean?
Like practical
hell yeah.
steps you can actually do
Yeah,
instead
man.
of just, yo, bro, be smart with your money.
yeah.
Come on,
okay,
now.
how am I going to be?
Yeah.
Dave Ramsey, did you ever listen to him?
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't.
Never mind.
I'll look him up.